I just did something wrong. I'm going to show it to you. I'm not going to point it out. I'm not going to give you the answer later, but put a comment down below if you see what I did. I had to redo it. Just got back from Tractor Supply and I wanted to share this with you. So I bought a couple more of these fence tensioners. So they're a simple ratchet that tightens your fence wire, and we use them for H bracing. So these were $7.49. And now let me show you the same thing I bought from a local store about 4 years ago maybe. Today I just happened to be in Tractor Supply, but I had one of those ratchet tensioners left over from the last fence job, and look how much it was at a local hardware store. $3.99. This inflation stuff is real. I mean, just the fence tensioners went from $4 to $7.50, and I don't know what the wire went to because we have wire left over from the last time we fenced. We bought some extra rolls on sale. But the post, these posts were $25 or $26 a piece that I used on the fence. And on our front fence 7 years ago, they were $15. So that's $10 a pole more. It's not quite double, but it's getting close to double for just a simple piece of wood that's been treated. It's crazy. So yesterday we didn't work on the fence. We had some other things we had to do, and I got a Reolink camera installed here. So we had the electrician out here to run electrical to that and also some other jobs, and that is a really handy feature to have out here. We have one at the front of the property where the front gate is, but this one's a wide angle and it's a floodlight, and unlike the one out front, it's not solar power, it's hooked right into the grid power. But now, like, everywhere where I'm standing and walking right now is being recorded because it triggered the camera, and it's a wide angle, so it gets all of this and get notifications on our phone. We also have the client on our laptop, so we can sit there and watch it like if the cows were out here. So that's a real nice addition out here, in addition to the gates and everything we got put up. So we've been using these gates for a couple days now, and to be honest, fencing is kind of a pain. Like, this was all open and we could let the cows out and we'd have to watch them, of course. This will make it safer and we won't have to watch them. And it looks good. The problem is you got to open 2 gates to go into the barn now. And if you want to bring a vehicle in here soon, I've got all the wire out here. You're going to have to open that gate to get the vehicle in, and then pull down here and then back up the vehicle, trailer, whatever, to get it in the barn, like for big deliveries. Let's go in and check on the cows. We got them inside. There's Chief there on the right, and Charlie's laying down because Charlie's not feeling good, and that's why they're in here. We had to run the Tractor Supply, so rather than leaving them out, they were just laying in the sun. We put them in here, and it's a little bit cooler than outside. So we'll 100% admit that we're helicopter cow parents, and I'm pretty bad. I mean, I clean up after them and do things that normal cow boys or cow men or people that own cows wouldn't do. But Deb is over the top with them. And Charlie wasn't eating yesterday or the day before. Day before, I guess. She only ate like half her milk. And usually they suck down their milk, and then they're like sucking on your calf and your heel and your knees and anywhere else they think they can get milk. Well, Charlie ate about, or drank about, half her bottle, and then she just didn't want any more. And so we just figured, she'd be better later in the afternoon. Well, later in the afternoon, when we let them out around 2 or 3 to run the pasture, and we sit out here with them for an hour, she basically came out of her little playpen and went and laid down. And then she'd go a few feet and laid down. So we called the vet, because we don't have any kind of livestock trailer. So we called the vet and said, hey, can he come here like he did last time, do a house call? And he was booked up. He was driving from out of state back into Florida, and it was the end of his day, and they said, well, you can bring her in. So we did. We loaded her in back of my pickup truck, leather seats. I've just lifted my truck 5 inches, and we covered it with cardboard, covered it with a tarp, and put towels in there. And we weren't hardly on the paved road at all before Charlie decided to go number 1 and number 2 in there. But we got to the vet. It's only 6 miles away. Very convenient vet, very nice vet that's not only dogs and cats, but also livestock. Checked her for parasites because we had a stool sample right in the back seat of my truck. And she was good otherwise. She just had a cold, basically. So today would be like 36 hours later or so. And she felt better. And she ate more than she had been. Every week we learn something new about cows. And this week we learned that cows are susceptible to getting colds. Luckily, Chief is not susceptible. And we're going to show you a video right now of Chief last night running wide open. And although he's not very big, Charlie weighed in at 62 pounds at the vet. We guess Chief is 75 pounds or so. Not very big, but I couldn't imagine that cow hitting you wide open throttle. So somehow the day has gotten completely away from me, and what I was going to do, I'm not going to be able to get to. But I wanted to show you guys a new machine that we got. And I wanted to do a video on it today, but I'm not going to be able to. I'm just not going to be able to because I want to put in this gate that we just bought and then get ready for stringing up the woven wire. When I got it, I took it off the trailer. I had to go over to Hank Hamilton. If you don't know him, Hamiltonville Farms was his big channel. Now it's Hamiltonville Farms Outdoors with him and his granddaughters, Dub and Z. And he has his own channel called Hank Hamilton. But Hank has bigger tractors and a full-size skid steer. So he can lift more things than me. So whenever I have a piece of equipment delivered that I can't lift, I have it delivered to Hank's.
I'm almost getting tired of doing all the heavy lifting for Brad over at Piney Grove. You know what I mean? So every time something heavy comes in, this guy's got to do, you know. I'm glad my back is strong is all I'm telling you. Maybe one day he'll get a tractor that lifts a lot of weight, you know?
Hank's got jokes, man.
I got tons of them. I got tons of them.
But there's the new machine. It is kind of like a mini skid steer, except for its purpose is solely to carry, but it can carry quite a bit in here, and it's just a big hydraulic dump, self-powered on tracks. And so what I gotta do is move these piles that have been sitting here for a while. They're unsightly. I'm gonna grab them, put them in the Bombalite, and then move them over to where they back of the property where they can rot in a big pit that I've dug out. We needed one more gate, and we have the 16-foot red gate and the 12-foot red gate, and I wanted to put one more gate at the other end of the pasture in case we needed to let the cows out there to graze, say in an area outside the pasture, of course, or get in there with a mower or a tractor. I would say this would be or will be an easy install, but nothing's easy. First I got to do is make sure it's in line. So a little bit of change of plans. I think I'm going to build out these H braces here, because this one really is just, I guess, for decoration, because it's only holding up that 8-foot gate. So it's not going to be holding a lot of fence tension. And in fact, it's going to be hard to pull fence in here and get it tight in just this 7-foot space. But we'll put this H brace here, and then we'll run that H brace as well, because that's a long span, and I'll be able to attach the wire here and pull it that way and not have to worry about this H brace being in the way. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to try and hang the gate and then set the post on the other side and H brace the other side, because that is a long wire pull. One thing we learned from the first couple posts we put in was to make sure to pull the dirt away from the post after you pack it. There's such big posts that there's lots of dirt left over, and if you leave it around the hole, it gets in the way of the sawhorses, and it'll get in the way of pulling the wire. So we pulled it all back with a hoe, so it's nice and clean to work around there, so you don't have any issues. Put my staples in for my bracing wire, and this isn't a step that has to be done now. It's just I'm doing it while I'm thinking about it. And it really doesn't matter which angle on this brace wire, because there's no wire pull on it. Now it does matter going that way, since the wire pull will be that way. You want the top towards the wire pull and the bottom, of course, away from it. I know you guys think when you watch a channel and they're doing kind of the same thing over and over again for several videos, and they explain it as they go, and you're thinking, well, they just explained that to me last week. Why are they doing it again? And the reason is most of every channel's views on a video that does really well, like 95%, are not subscribers. So you have your regular viewers that are going to watch just about everything, and they're the ones that are going to say stuff like, I just saw you do that. Well, it's true, because you watch every video, and we appreciate that immensely. But 95% of the people that will likely watch this video will not have seen the last one. But if you were making 4 videos a week, at some point there's going to be some overlap. You can't be doing exciting, new, crazy things, have new machines every day. It doesn't work that way. It would be fun if it did. Pre-drilled for my pins that are going to hold on my H-brace, so I'll just go ahead and start them. I got to cut that other side, so this side doesn't get cut. So I can go ahead and pin this side completely. If I did it right, it should line up perfectly. Go right in, and I'll tap it with a hammer. All right, it's seated. Now I cut this one to length with the mark I put on here. Put this in line here, and that'll just help bring these two posts together while I'm putting this pin in. Yep, I didn't even pre-drill that hole. I decided to go ahead and build both H-braces at the same time, since it's kind of the same muscle memory or muscle motion. So they're cut, they're in, they're pinned, and just like that other one, I beat this pin in without pre-drilling this horizontal, and that worked out good. I'm going to be doing that from now on, because even though this wood is, hard treated wood, or it's dry, so it's not soft like that wet Home Depot treated lumber. You can still drive that pin through it, and once you drive it into its own hole that it's made by the pin, there's no slop in it at all. And also you don't have to worry about it lining up, because it's making its own path as it goes. But now I'm just doing my wire. I did one already. This is H-brace wire. I think this is the first real hammer swinging that I've done since my shoulder surgery well over 2 years ago. I think August would have been 2 years, so we're 14, 15 months. And I try not to do it too much, because the more wear I put on this artificial shoulder, the quicker it will wear out. So leave me a comment down below. Have you guys ever seen the or the stick method? And this wire would have to be on this side to do it, but you put a stick in between here, a shorter one than this, and you spin it. And as you spin it, you'll tighten this wire, and then you'll take this stick, and you'll just kind of tuck it in your fence wire, and that's what keeps the tension. And if it gets loose over time, you just turn it with the stick again. That stick method still being used today. Probably works, just as well, or good enough for a lot of people. But what do you guys think about that? Would you build a fence with the stick in it instead of spending $8 on this tensioner? The rest of my fencing may not look professional, but doggone it, my H-brace wire with my tensioner does. I must be getting tired or something, losing focus, because I just did something wrong. I'm going to show it to you. I'm not going to point it out. I'm not going to give you the answer later, but put a comment down below if you see what I did. I had to redo it, and I'll give you 2 hints. It's directly related to what you just saw me do, and a few minutes before that, I had to put in some staples. That's enough. That's enough hints. I'm going to show it to you. So that's the side I did first. And then this side is the side that I did in the last segment. And then I had to come back and redo off camera. Just tell me what I did wrong. It didn't take long to fix it, but if you're, talking to a camera, or I'm thinking about some other things that are going on, don't have my head in the game, then you miss a simple step like that, and before you know it, you've cost yourself 10, 15 more minutes of work. I think we're going to put this gate like this. If you do it the way I'm thinking about doing it, you can't adjust the hinges the way you can if you put it in line. And by in line, I mean this. I mean like this, which is the way it's intended to be put in. I think I'm going to go for it. I think I'm going to mount it like this. I think the land drops away enough there that the gate won't scrape. It's not really level, but it doesn't have to be, because I can put these hinges right underneath their mounting point here. And then it'll be an in-swing only gate. The cows won't be able to push it out because this side is against a post and that side will be against a post. Whereas normally a gate would brush past the post. But if I put the post, like right here where the level is, then the gate can't go past it. I think it's going to work if I could get it lined up so it can drop over. I got it dropped over the bottom. I just need it to drop over the top without it slipping like it keeps doing. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the top one's supposed to be flipped, and you're not wrong. I got tired of fighting it, so I just loosened this one up. And I know this one should come from the bottom. It's easy enough to change. I'm just not going to worry about it right now. Well, let me go ahead and do it. Chad Doss actually just texted me and said, make sure you put the top one the other way, because Chief isn't always going to be small, and he's going to want to lift up on that gate. So here you go, Chad. Just for you. Chad's got bigger cows than Chief will ever get, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have great advice. Okay, guys, the first opening of the gate. I put you down low for some drama. Look at that. Opens beautifully. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it that way. That way you never have to worry about the cows pushing the gate out, because they'd have to push over that post, and that ain't happening. Let me show you what I'm going to do next. All right, so I drew the bottom of a post in here, and that way I will get it correct, because I keep drilling my post wrong. So I've got that string line there. I'm going to take this drawing of a post, put it right there. Right on that string line. The edge of the post will be there. That'll be the center of the post. I'll dig a little hole there, drop the auger there. Last three I've done have been absolutely perfect. That hole looked like it went in where it's supposed to go, straight up and down and in line with the other ones. I'm going to drop the post in here, level it up, pack it, build this other H-brace, and then this portion of the fence will be done. But this video is done right now, so we appreciate you guys watching, coming back week after week to check out our progress out here at Piney Grove. Remember, if you liked the video, click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? It's 100% free. But until next time, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard. Check out these two videos right here. They're pretty cool too. Take care, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. That didn't work like I wanted it to. There we go. I love them silly things. You fell out like what?
Soft serve ice cream.
Talking about poop again?
Yes, we're talking about poop.
What up, bull cow?
When you have a sick cow, you worry about poop.
What's up, little Charlie?
She still doesn't want to.
You still not hungry, huh, babies? Not hungry. Oh, bull cow.
Cow's always
Hell,
hungry.
bull cow's always hungry.
He'd
Bella's always hungry.
He'd
Charlie, not so much.
Used to be.